Hello guys, welcome back, and in this video I want to show you how you can be able to transform a Laravel project that has blade templates into livewire. I have this application here and it was loading slowly while performing different functionalities, and I thought maybe it is good that I refactor some pages. I've already refactored some pages. For example, this add vehicle here, you'll notice that it loads quite fast when I click on it. So I've also refactored something like when I click list client, this is another page that I've refactored. And also, let me just go, for example, to list clients here. And now when I try to filter by activity, it only load this spinner for this particular page here and then display the result. For example, I've also click verified. It doesn't reload the whole page, it just reloads and then it gives you the result. So let me go back and say all. Right. So today what I want to do is that I want to take you through how I can be able to refactor this page here, this add stuff here. So if I click on it now, you'll see that it takes quite some times and then it loads this this loader here before it actually displays the page. So without further ado, let us dive in and see how we can be able to do this. So if I go to, rather what I'm going to do first is just to create a livewire component. So I'm going to open my terminal here. So I'll go inside my project, which is the echo tracker. So let me just clear everything. So once I'm here, I'm going to run PHP artisan. I'm going to say make livewire because I want to create a component, and this component I'm going to call it stars. Sorry, this should be in small letters. Stars like this dot create stuff. So what this will do, will create a folder known as stuffs with a file in it known as create stuffs. All right. So you can check the documentation. This is what is recommended. So the component has been created, and now as you can see here, we have a class inside app livewire stuffs create stuff, and we have a view inside livewire stuff create stuff. So now if I go inside my project now, as you can see, now we have stuff and create stuff. And then if I go inside livewire on the view, we have stuff, and then of course we have this. So currently here on this stuff, we do not have anything. We just have this one div here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my stuff page here. So this is the blade template that we're using to create stuff. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to minimize this, and then I'm going to copy this guy here. I don't need to copy this section. I'll extend this section from the livewire class. I'll show you in a while. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this class and the include section like this. Then I'll go inside my livewire, inside this div, delete everything here. I'll paste this guy here. So that is okay. And then the next thing is that I'll go, let me just show you an example here, is that if I go inside create client, I'll just copy this section here. You see, in the render function, you return the view for that particular livewire. So, and then you extend the layout and then you add the section. Just the very same thing that I could have done right here. Where is it? This is the very same thing I've done. I've extended here and then the content is right here. So I'm going inside create stuff and then I'm going to add that extend section here just to make sure that the view for this livewire extend the main layout page. All right, so that is the first thing. The next thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going inside my controller, because that method is in the controllers. Then I'm going inside staff controller. I'm going to find the create method or the store method, which is here. So I'm going to copy everything here. I'll refactor all this in a while, so no need to worry. So let's copy this guy until here. and then I'll go inside. Let me just open this page so that let me just close these guys here, uh, like this, so that we remain with this. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to create a method that will store this data. I'm going to call this method public, say public function save. That is how I like to call my livewire methods that save data. And then I'm going to paste everything now inside here. For now, this is no big deal. We'll just refactor this in a while. And then the next thing I'm going to do is, let me see, I need to import this exception, import class. It should be, let me see, it should be exception, if I'm not wrong. All right, it's okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is now we need to add validation for this data. And the way you add validation, of course, you need to have public properties, all right? And in our case here, I'm going to copy. Let me actually just copy from client here. I created a client page, and I'm just going to copy most of the things from this page here. So if I go to clients, create, let me see what we have here. We have first name, last name, office, username, phone, email. So I'm going inside here, I'm going to scroll up. So we're going to copy, let's say first name, last name, username, phone number, email, up to this. Then I'll go back inside here. I'll just paste that here. Cancel this for now. Then I'll scroll down, and now we don't need this validation guy, all right? So we don't need this validation guy. Secondly, if that is okay, and then now in our users, instead of this, we just call this for now, and then this, all right, and then say this. All right, let me just remove this. Then here we also need to say this. If I scroll down again here, I need to say this, then this, this should be, this is okay, user ID, then this, like that. And then now what you're going to do is that inside here we need to pass this. All right, we also need a phone code, I guess so. So let me just go back here. All right, all right, all right, all right. And see this phone, we should use that phone here, like that. Then if I go up here, we need a phone code like this, and this is going to be phone code. By default, I'm going to give it +254. That is for country Kenya. So I believe that is the same thing I've used here. Let me see for the phone code 254, right? So once you have done that now, we need now also to refactor this. So I added a functionality to to store the email in queues before sending them. So just to improve the speed. So I'm going to use that functionality. So now if I go inside the create client, as you can see down here, the way I'm sending email is through this dispatch guy here. So I'm going to copy that guy, and instead of sending this like this, I'm going to paste that guy here, click OK, and then let me see inside here, I'm just going to use user like that, and then yeah, we are good. And then we also need, of course, to there's a livewire package that I'm using that is used to create alert, and that is the where is it? you just say alert success, whatever, instead of sending data through the session to template and then getting that data again. You just say this alert, and this I'll just say stuff created successfully. And then what I'm going to do now, while using this now, we can just remove this section now here of with and success. So we are like that. Then if I confirm here, I think we are good. So you can just redirect back everything like that. Then what we want also is that when there is an error, you don't need this now. You can just use, let me just do this. You can just do this, and instead we'll just redirect with error, and then we can just pass our error guy here. So let me just do this. So this should be ex say get message like this. So that is how we'll be able to get our error and display it to the user. So let me see if I've missed something here. So okay, we also need to import the trait for this alert, and it is what? Let me just confirm this. Okay, so to call livewire alert. So just go back here, import this guy, do like this. So one more thing that we need to do now is that we need to bind, the data in the template here, in the blade template, to our class, to our livewire class. And I'll just do that quick fast here. So we don't again need we don't need the method post, we don't need the action. So I'm going to remove all those things there. And then what we need now, yes, we need a live wire bind here called live wire, sorry, wire submit. Keep forgetting this. And when you submit, we need to call the save method, right? Our save method is this guy here that will get the data and save in the database. So when you submit, we need to do that. And then the next thing, of course, we need now to change this to wire model that will bind to the first name. So need to change the same thing that you do, in view. Wire model like this, the username. Also, I'm going to say wire model for number. All right, let me see. We need to bind the font code here, like this wire model. And then if I go back, we also have the phone number. So we need also to bind that phone number that will be passed there. So in our case, we have the phone code here. The phone number, I believe, is down below here, like this wire. I'll just say wire model like that. And then we have the email, say wire model, sorry, wire model like that. Scroll down, we have the office. All right, so here there's also something more tricky that we need to solve. For currently, as you can see in our template, we are loading the office and we haven't loaded office anywhere here. So we need to get that data from database. I need just to say public, because we are displaying the office in a select, and then when the user selects the office, let me just show you. So as you can see here, we need to get this data pre-populated before the user submits. So we need something like this. I'll just say offices. And then what we can use here is very simple. We can just use the public mount function. And this function always loads once when a page, before the page is rendered, all right? So before the page is rendered, we can be able to get our data here and store them in this functionality. And then when the page is rendered, Livewire will just look for these, public property offices, and when it sees one, it will get data from that, right? So I can just say this, I can just say offices, all right, is equals to offices, office, and then I'll say all right, office, like this, all right. So let me just import this, okay, import class. So that should solve our problem. And then let me see also, okay. For numbers required, username is required, last name, first name is required. If I go back here now, all right, we are good. So the last thing we need to do now is I'll go to the web.php, because currently now the routes that we have here for stuff, they will redirect the user to the controller, and we don't want that. We want the user to be redirected to livewire. So in here where we currently, I'm using the resource, and as you know, the resource comes with all the methods for the controller. So I'm going to use one method, and that method will be the create, or the create route. So I'm going to use the Laravel except, and then I'm going to pass an array. Let I'll pass many things here, and I'm going to say except create. So that will mean when creating the routes, it will create all other route except this route create. All right, and so now I can use that comfortably up here. I created a vehicle create here, so now I can just say stuffs. So when I hit this page, or anywhere this code has been used, stuff create, it will be rendered through livewire, not through the simple, or through the controllers, right? And that should be it. So let's check this out and see what it will give. Okay, it is stuff, not stuffs. So this should be stuff, I believe so. This also should be stuff. All right. So just save everything here. I'll go back to the page and I'll do a refresh. Let's see if we got any error. So the first thing I see is that we have this loader here, and it's not finishing to load. That is because this loaders requires internet, and currently I want to test this functionality without internet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going just to disable the loader for that page, and that is through the layouts, the app, like this, and then inside the app, all right, the app, I'm just going to scroll up. I have added a small check here, so I'm going to add this also here. So this is not something that it is you are required to do, but this is just specific for my application. So I'm going to disable that, that loader for that page. And then one thing that I'm going also to do, I'm going inside the side nav, and I'm going to use wire navigate, all right, so that we can be able to create a feeling of a single and SPA application, whereby we'll navigate through these pages without reloading the page. So that is inside, I created that inside livewire. Inside the side nav, I'm going inside the staff main, the main, and then inside here, I'll scroll down to, so inside here where we have staff.index, we can just add wire navigate, like that, so that will make our page to be quote unquote an SPA application. So now it seems that our page has loaded well, seems that it's rendering well. So let's try to check first if even our live wire is working for this thing. So if I try to submit this, let's see. You see now this is a live search. This is a live validation. The page doesn't reload when I just click. All right, this is a mistake. Stuff create is going here. It shouldn't be going here. It should go. That is a simple, stupid mistake. You should go to create stuff. Let's see, like this. Just import this guy here. Again, import this class like this, right? And then I just go back here and scroll down to where we have add stuff. I click here. See, now the page loads very fast and there is no reloading. So let me just try to submit this. All right. Currently we are having client side validation. I'm just going to remove that just to ensure that we have validation from the server side. Personally, I don't like using this validation on the client side. Yeah, because if it is bypassed and you have forgotten the server side, your application then is prone to to attacks. So let me just remove this required. Also this one here. Also this one here. And lastly, let's remove this one here. And also let's remove which one here. So I'm going to remove this guy here like that. And then let's just do a refresh here. All right. So now let us try to submit this. When I submit, property phone not found. Okay. Let me. So we have an error. Let me just go back here, and that is because if I go phone and I go here, okay, if I scroll down, yeah, and the error is because I'm trying to call here this phone and this property phone is not there, so I need to call to use the phone number here, this one. And then last thing I also forgot. So I'm doing this live so that you can see that when you're a coder, it's not just like you know everything and you're coding everything, and it worked perfectly. So sometimes you get this error and it is normal. So I need also to call the validate method. I'd forgotten also to do that. Yeah. So I need to call that before I pass this data. So like this. So now I do a refresh again here on this page. So now let us try to submit this data again. When I try to submit it, yeah, you see now, for example, when I try to submit this data, this is the error I'm getting. Now, if I go back, I forgot again to import that guy here. Where is he? Validate. I need to import this guy. All right. So now if I go back, let me just go back again and do a refresh here. So now if I try to submit this data, now you see the validation is working, all right, and it's a live validation. That is cool. That is wonderful. So now let us try to create a user here, actually a fake user. So I'm going just to use fake filler here, and I'm going to use Kenya here. I'm going to pass a weird number here. Okay, let's say 07. This one guy here, let's say 45, something of that sort. Kisumu office, yeah. And then I'll just click submit. All right, it seems we have an error here. So let me submit this again. And the error is property office ID is not found. All right. So if I go back to my livewire, I forgot to add office ID. All right. So I'll need to duplicate this. Go here and say this office underscore ID, something of that sort. And then if I scroll down, am I using the office ID right here? So if I go back to the code, let's confirm we have the office ID. Did I wire model? Okay, okay. You see, I forgot this office ID and you need to wire model this guy here. So I'll just say like that. So let's do a refresh again. I hope now we have no error and we are good to go. All right, let me use fake filler again to fill this data. I'm going to use here like this one. I'm going to say like this one. I'm going to say 457. I'm going to submit this data. All right, and now we have the data. submitted. Let me just confirm why. All right, I know the reason why we are not seeing the success message, and that is because you see now I've created that user and I'm redirected here, this guy here. So let's create one more user and try, and let's see how it will appear. So I just click here. All right, like this. You see the way it navigates so fast. I'm going just to create a user. Let's call him test, test, test. The phone number is going to be 254, like this. Let's say like that one. Email, let's say test123@gmail.com. Head office, let's say maybe Kisumu. Yeah, the reason why you are not seeing the success message clearly is because I was using this form filler, and when I autofill this data, it kind of changes the theme for for the application. That is why the color was not that. So let me just try with this again. All right, the office ID is required. Why is that so? And that is because I know why. And that is because we need to set a default data again for the office. All right. So when someone chooses, when the page loads by default, you need to define the office ID. All right. So we need to say, let me see right here. We need to say this. Let me actually just copy from this guy. I'm too lazy to do that. So just go inside here, scroll down, and I'll copy this guy, you see? And then I'll go back here, I'll just paste this guy. So this will set the default office ID. And then this also need to be 254 and not plus 254. So let me do a refresh here again. Let us try this again. Let us say test, test, test. And my number is that one. I'll just say 67 here. I'll just say test 123 at gmail.com. Head office, let's choose maybe Kisumu. Let's submit this data. All right, integrity constraint. All right. And the reason why I'm getting this error is because I'm not checking, for unique okay, the database has unique for fonts, but I'm not checking in the code, so it is throwing, SQL data directly here. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add a simple check here. Let me just see right here like this. Very simple. And I'll just check if I'll just get the user, where the phone number has been passed from the blade template. And then if this user exists in the database, I'll return a simple error like this. The phone is already taken. So we have a beautiful error message. So let's go back here and try to create, let me see, uh, add stuff. So we'll try to create a stuff with with a phone number that exists and then see what will happen here. So for now, let's just say test, test, test. I'll just pass my phone number here. I believe it exists, and then I'll just test as Gmail. Submit this. All right, you see now it gives a beautiful error here that the phone number already exists. So I'm going to change the phone number to something like 67, then test 123, then test user or user test. That sounds better. And then I'm going to use Kisumu. Then now let us hit create. Hopefully this worked fine. All right, the phone number also this already taken. Let me use another one, maybe 56. Submit this guy. This phone number is already taken. All right. Let me try another one then. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, something like that. Let's try to submit this now. All right, that does not exist. Staff created successfully, login was sent to the user email. And then once it has done that, it will redirect the user to, to the page where we have the listing for the staff, and this is the user that we have added. Just the user that we have added. So everything works fine, works fantastic, and we have been able to refactor that create method to livewire. So let me recap very fast. The first thing, we created livewire components with this class, and then inside here I transfer the data from the controller to this method known as save. Then of course we have the render, which I extended the layout, and then I declare the public properties for this live wire component like this, and I added this validation, with some of the default data for specific properties like phone and also for office. After that, I wire binded using wire model, and then pass this method action, this action on a submit here, and I call the save action. And lastly, here I went inside the web, and then I added an exception for the create method for staff. Where is it? Here we have staff. I added an exception for the create so that every time the user hits this endpoint, this route for the create, it uses livewire instead of the default controller. So up here I added this method, as you can see. Where is it? All right, like here we have staff create, and then it uses create staff, which is a livewire class. And then the route is staff create, and that is it, guys. So that is how you refactor a simple, or rather you refactor Laravel with blade template to livewire. So next time we'll see how we can be able to refactor, and incorporate these this page where you list stuff into livewire, so that we don't have to reload every time you see I click, like for example active, the page has to reload, which is not really a good experience for the user. Yeah, so we'll see how we can be able to refactor this using livewire, so that every time I filter, it only loads this part alone and gets data instead of reloading the whole page. With that, guys, thank you so much, and leave your comment, leave your likes, and subscribe. And until we meet again, happy coding.